Okay, so I will start with the introduction of the panel speakers. So Siddharth, he is an impact industry professional with 14 years of business building and consulting experience. He has been instrumental in leading business diversification for one of India's leading retail brands, wherein his key initiative include setting up an online platform, a mass premium apparel brand, and a fashion education venture. He also actively mentors startups and supports them with business planning and fundraising support. And Sachin, of course, he's a alumni of Bagubai who has switched from engineer to finance. So over to you guys. I would like you to share your advice to budding new entrepreneurs, engineers who are just going to get out of college and start something on their own. So what advice would you give them? Any one of you can start.
Maybe I'll just go first. So I think what I've learned over the years, and while talking to a lot of founders, or while talking to a lot of entrepreneurs, is that the biggest thing that you need to have is the belief that whatever product or service or the market that you are running after is something that you need to have a strong belief in, that first thing. Because I don't think so any entrepreneur has been able to uh, move along or grow his business in a very streamlined manner. I mean, it's not an HDFC, let me put it that way, that every quarter on quarter you will keep on having growth and things will just go as per what you expect. I think it's a very tough time at the start. I think the initial 12 to 18 months is something where you need to be very confident about your startup, and also uh, make sure that the product that you are running after, you are solving certain pain points. So I think 2 3 things which you should focus on. One is, are you solving real problems? Second is there a big enough market? The TAM has to be really large enough for you to actually grow in that business, right? And third piece is, do you have enough management? I think your partners, your co-founders, or your team is very important, because there are diamond dozen ideas, right? Finally, what gets executed is what you see. I mean, there were many who tried doing a Zomato, right? Today there is only one Zomato which has just got listed yesterday. I think it's the execution also which matters a lot. And for execution, you need a team. You need to be able to believe in your core team members. So I think these are the 3 things that you need to have. There are many more things, but I think these are the things that I would like to start off with.
Yeah. What
Thanks.
about this?
That was very well put. So in fact, totally agree and concur with what Sachin said. And the other thing which I also want to add is that today, becoming an entrepreneur, given the fact that we're seeing, let's see, yesterday we saw the IPO of Zomato, and we saw a lot of people shift to billionaire, multimillionaire status. But at the same time, what a lot of budding entrepreneurs, essentially, if you're fresh out of engineering or business school, also should take into consideration is that for a lot of these founders who started off, they really had those 3 to 4 years of experience in working in a good corporate or good environment, and where they have they've just not jumped to any business plan. They've actually spent time in terms of evaluating the business they want to get into. They thought through it. They bootstrapped it. While having their job in hand, they've also worked on weekends to evaluate their business plans. Started off in a very small and dirty way, wherein they've actually done all the grunt work and the groundwork. And it's only after 20 years or 20-25 years that you end up really on average achieving a very large success. For tech startups today, you could do it in 5 to 10 years as well. But it's also to keep in mind that don't just jump into something wildly. Thinking that you'll become the next unicorn out there. And I know this because for a lot of my friends who had very good options, they just jumped into starting your startups without any experience, without any knowledge. So spend some time getting some experience if you want. You can always start 2 3 years down the line. But once you get into something, then ensure that you not kept your legs in two boats and back your idea. You probably never have the perfect business plan, but have a clear focus, have a clear vision. At the same time, ensure that you understand where you stand with respect to your resources. Look for the right kind of partners. Look for the right set of people to work with, and at the same time, ensure that when you are setting up your business, you're 100% convinced in terms of what you're doing. At the same time, you're also flexible to adopt and change to what the market requires, rather than being hung on to what you think the market needs.
Okay, yeah. Thank you for your insights. Now, Siddharth,
I'll just add.
Yeah, please.
What Siddharth said is a very important point, that you need to be humble and nimble, because not necessarily what you start off with, that's the only idea, or that is the only thing that can click for you. You have to be at it. You need to know the market. You need to be able to change your product. You need to be able to change your model at whichever time you feel. And there is nothing right or wrong. If you change your model, that doesn't mean that it's a wrong thing, that you could not get it right the first time. But the more you are able to adjust yourself to the market, the better it will be for your venture to succeed.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, sorry.
I would request you to actually keep your video off, and because I think your bandwidth issue, there's a little bit of an echo. So I think maybe you can get more bandwidth if your video is off.
Yeah. I'll actually I think now it won't happen because I accidentally switched it on another computer. So then I wanted to ask you one thing. You must have met a lot of individual startups or founders, co-founders. What are the traits or qualities you see in an individual? If you want to help him or you want to invest with him, business idea, I get it. Okay, there is one thing about the business model, but as an individual trait also, you must be analyzing the founder, the co-founder, the team. What qualities, according to you, you feel are important to have for an entrepreneur?
So, honestly, the number one quality is that, at least for me, is someone who's, humble and down to earth, who understands what he's doing, who's, sensible to understand his market well. If there are any questions that he's asked, if he gets, some questions on that, can answer very clearly in terms of what his market is. When he's not sure about something, has the courage to say, I don't know, at the same time, makes effort to, learn, is adaptable. So I think, it's more of, it's a very personal sort of thing. And then definitely also what you need to gauge is that, you ask, somebody about their past to get some perspective in terms of how consistent or persistent that person really is, So I think stability of the person is very crucial, because end of the day, you'll be, for whichever funds that you're working with, they are really backing the person. The idea, like Sachin said, will change. And it's not possible that you're going to be achieving exactly 100% in terms of what you set out to do. But the question of how adaptable and how sensible and how grounded the person is to be able to achieve success.
Okay. Sachin, I wanted to ask you to share your experience with Bhagubhai students, especially how you have switched from engineer to finance, and now you are into, you focus on these big deals. So how if somebody here wants to follow your footstep, how should he go about it? Please guide them.
Yeah, I was on mute. Let me tell you very upfront, I don't think so. This is a path that I had thought about, or I had set. Okay, it became a coincidence, and things in life took turns, and that is how I am in the finance field. Only thing is, I would say is that to any Bhagubhai student or anyone who wants to actually try and understand this journey from being an engineer to a finance professional, I would be more than happy to guide them, because there was no one to guide me, and which is why probably it took me a lot many years to get to the field where I was I wanted to go in, right? So it was more of a chance which just came across in life, and that's how I moved to. Only thing is that I could say is that I have always liked understanding new businesses, analyzing new businesses, which is why probably what I do today is something that I am liking and I'm being able to be in this field. And that's why probably it's been a decade now where I've been in investment banking domain now. So I think the bigger question for anyone is that you need to quickly identify what is the real passion or what is it that really works for you or what do you really like. I would certainly say and be very honest, it's not necessarily that when you are studying you know exactly what you like. The more you start working, you come to know that this is of your liking, this something is not of your liking, and you can change course. I mean, there is nothing right or wrong. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. So now I agree with you, but suppose I am a student and I know I like finance. So what is my path? Like after engineering, I'll have to focus on MBA or I'll have to learn how to read balance sheets. So if I want to walk on your path, what skill set should I develop? So anything in, but it may like say, let's say if I say, for example, start tracking the stock market. I'm just exploring different options, but
So
so it may
I
not,
think, okay,
yeah.
the first thing that you should start doing, and I don't know, many of them would be doing, if you want to be a finance professional, and this is a very basic, are you reading Economic Times daily?
Okay.
Are you
Yeah.
doing that piece? That's the basic thing, right? You need
Correct.
to be knowing, and these are some of the very basic stuff which I'm talking, which people know that they need to do, but I'm sure 95% of the people don't do. Okay, that's the first thing. Second piece is try and understand what are the segments which are there in the finance domain, right? Whether you want to get into an IT job, whether you want to get into a private equity domain, whether you want to be a finance professional, you may do a chartered accountancy. Is accounts your favorite subject? You want to focus on audits and assurance? Do you want to get into tax planning? I think you need to figure out where exactly you want to go. There could be corporate development, which you can do as a corporate finance professional. I think one needs to understand what are the domains, which domain you want to focus on, and then you can chart out your path. Start understanding balance sheet is a basic, right, for a finance guy.
Yeah.
Right, as you rightly said, one needs to start reading about that. If you want to be an equity research analyst, start reading a lot of reports. Start understanding what people focus on. I think those are some of the things that I can just say.
Yeah. And see, it is very interesting. Both of you have a like Siddharth deals with fresh idea. You deal with a company having strong balance sheet. So, what about Corona? How do you see what will change post COVID?
So one thing
So,
that maybe you can go ahead, Siddharth. Yeah.
sorry, yeah. So in fact, I think the key thing to change COVID is in the way things are done. I think it's more the digital environment. I think that right now, also we having this conversation again. It's a function of what's really happened because of COVID. Otherwise, we would have probably done it in an auditorium or in a physical location. So the way I see, there are two things really. One is the way business is done. The platforms that you're using to do business, the way of interacting with people. I think a lot of things are moving digitally. So I think people are becoming smart in terms of what can be done digitally, they're doing digitally, and in terms of what they are, what requires physical intervention, where they are ensuring that they go and do it. But secondly, what I'm also seeing is that a lot of new different businesses are coming up, which realize that post-Corona or post-COVID, there may be a lot of different ideas or requirements that may come up, which are going to be investable and which are going to be required for the way people work or solutions required for the market in the future. So I see a lot of shifts happening in that direction. And if I give a simple example, also, for all my friends who own restaurants, hotels, they are setting up dark kitchens. For a lot of people who are in manufacturing, are trying to see how they can move to a little more of a distributed setup or move their manufacturing outside city and stay there. So I think that adaptability and technology intervention is really coming in with this local businesses.
Yeah. What about you, Sachin? Yeah.
I think fully concur with that. I think the biggest change that we will see, and most of the businesses are seeing, is the digital adoption, right? That obviously people can argue whether this is a pent up digital adoption that you are seeing, or or whether this will sustain. I think time will only tell. But yes, for a lot of traditional businesses also, the digital has become a way. And where people earlier were trying to focus on only the online model, have also started thinking that it is an omni-channel model which we will have to focus on. You can't only rely on a pure play offline model or a pure play online model. The right models will be more of an omni-channel, and that is across industries that we are seeing. I mean, we talk to a lot of guys who are, as you rightly pointed out, are more mature companies, right? But I think most of the guys, even if they are traditional, like a DMart also, is a completely traditional format stores, right? Has been focusing on getting it online, the DMart ready stores and stuff like that. Another thing that I'm seeing is that I think a lot of the convenience factor has started coming in, at least in the large metros. So the markets those cater to, or the businesses those cater to the large metro population, I think the convenience factor is coming in big time, and people, what we have seen over years, and the internet economy and the ecosystem that is being developed across the food tech or a health tech or a ed tech, I think people are increasingly becoming ready to pay. Obviously, I mean, loyalty is something which one is in question every time such businesses come up. But I think we see a lot more propensity for people to transact online, work online, shop online. So I think that's going to be a big difference, big change.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
not specific to, I also see that, there are, I think there are 28 people. Are there any questions from the audience as well?
Yeah. We'll open it to the audience. Last question that I will ask, and then we'll open it to the audience and close the session. See, Bhagubai has started an incubation center, and we have budding entrepreneurs who are going to pitch their idea to get incubated in Bhagubai. Now, anything specific that you would want them to consider while selecting an idea or working on an idea before they incubate? So, Startup India program, even government has a lot of options that they are, like if it is a MSME approved idea, then they are funding up to 15 lakhs for that particular idea. Then there are, obviously, if you are a Startup India selected startup, there are tax benefits to it. So a lot of people, obviously, I will love my idea, but the way I will evaluate my own idea and the way you guys will evaluate my idea, there is a lot of difference. So initially, every budding entrepreneur will be in love with his idea. But any particular thing you can list down that he could checklist, like, like Sachin mentioned earlier, that it should be able to, he should be able to solve a pain point. Okay, that is one. But anything like a brief advice you can give him, that, you should check these things before you plunge into your idea. Anything where evaluating an idea becomes simpler process for them.
So, no, absolutely. So the thing is, I've got actually two point of views. One is, point of view that I think it's a very good initiative that Bhagubai is doing. But I also feel that, while you're also looking at building up, platform for investors to come and, meet some of the enterprises to, showcase their, or, some of your, students who share their ideas. I think it's very important that you also have a preparation program for them, which helps them with, business planning, financial modeling, startup, vetting of their ideas, because the age at which they are at and the experience that they have, this is something which they will require. And without the right kind of mentoring for that, if they pitch the idea and if it's not selected, it's really going to break their morale. And for the enterprises, yes, while we are looking at, let's say, ideas which, are important for the market, in solving a key pain point, but when you are creating your pitch deck or a startup deck, please go through a proper, business planning document. Understand what are some of the key requirements in terms of, what your product is going to be, the place where sell it from, what your addressable market is, what is the pain point that you're looking at solving, how are you different from, some of the other businesses out there, or how do you intend to do something better from, other businesses. So, do a proper comparative analysis with other competition players. and also have some realistic numbers on the ground that to start a business, these are the basic resources that is required to start up. You can bootstrap it for this much time. Understand that you'll have to get an investor at some point in time. So be very structured in your thought process, because whatever your age is, an investor will definitely ask you some of these questions because he's looking at a clarity and thought process.
Okay.
Just to add to what Raj said, I think for anyone who is starting their own venture, you should also start doing is that start creating your network in this startup ecosystem. Start going to conferences, start meeting some of the investors, try and understand what they are thinking, what is running in the market. I think you need to start creating, building your own network also, which may not help you at this point in time, but as you move along in your journey, that is where this will help you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for your. Yeah. Go on. Please go on, Siddharth. Yeah.
And just to add to what Sachin said, Sachin, in fact, in the previous question, brought up a very interesting point where he spoke about if you want to become like a financial analyst, read Economic Times. So the one thing which I'm very encouraged is that for anyone who's looking at doing anything in life, if you're becoming an entrepreneur or looking at having, working in a corporate, but reading is a very important thing, and especially for entrepreneurs, magazines like Forbes India, reading articles in terms of in business magazines. This is really help because they help you identify need gaps and help you come up with other ideas as well in terms of which you may not have thought of.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for your valuable insights.